Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Treasures and What? Not another reselling podcast. Our show is all about the live side of reselling with no edits, no fluff, no filters. We keep it raw, real, and uncut because I'm lazy as hell and I don't want to do none of that shit. We don't try to sugarcoat anything. I wanted to bring raw conversations to you guys and the real truth about reselling, which we definitely did last episode with Tracy's nice declarations about Mrs. State. Our guest today is a returning guest and probably one of the closest people that I have met in this last couple of years. It is Cory from Grams and Pops Vintage. He is a full-time reseller on eBay in other platforms. He's also host, along with his beautiful wife, Teresa Grams, of an awesome YouTube channel, which we will have links down there below. And please, if you have not ever watched Grams and Pops Vintage, watch Grams and Pops Vintage. We watch them religiously. They are amazing.
I do. Brian doesn't.
Well, I do too. I watch them occasionally and stuff, or I need to go to sleep or something. I'm just kidding. That was a joke and stuff. He's also the creator. Yeah, he's also the creator of the Planes to Profit meetup, which is happening later on this month. And guys, we're going to have links down below and we're going to actually talk about that one. He's somebody that we are proud to have gotten to know, and at least I get to call him a friend. Tracy and I get to call him a friend. I don't know if he reciprocates that. Please welcome my friend Cory from Grams and Pops Vintage. Welcome in, Cory.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I have to correct you though. I wouldn't consider myself the creator of Planes to Profit. I would co-creator. The first year and the second year we did it, we were actually co-creators with Elisa, Ink Picker. And this year we are kind of a co-host with John at Resell Rabbit.
Okay.
And with the hopes of actually turning it over to John full-time starting next year. So it's always been a collaboration in that aspect,
But who came up with the idea for it?
I don't know. I honestly don't remember. I doubt it was me. I don't come up with many ideas.
Oh, for God. Okay, this is a guy who every time I watch his videos and announcing some new creation that he's doing, and it's just amazing. Guys, I apologize for how I sound. I'm getting over a cold. I have actually been fighting this cold for the last week. Which is why
2 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks now, and finally it ended up sidelining me from doing any of our whatnot shows for almost a full week. But hopefully I will be back on there because I need to make some money. Believe me, thank God for eBay, as I said, and we're going to actually talk about this with Cory too.
Well, our first question for the day: when you first started watching YouTube, whose channels did you first watch?
Ooh, that's a good question. You make me think back. Honestly, I think some of the first videos we stumbled onto were like Daily Refinement and a few channels like that. I quickly kind of evolved away from that because I knew right away if we were going to do something like resell on eBay, it was not going to be in the clothing market. Like it just wasn't,
Right.
I wasn't going to do clothing. You could see by what I'm wearing, like I'm a Walmart t-shirt guy. I'm not a clothing guy. If you ask me to explain a t-shirt, I'm going to read what's on it. And that's about it. I think we evolved into like,
that's what I do.
Like Lonnie and Candace pretty quickly after that. And from there, I mean, we've watched as many as we could get our hands on watching it. We watched the garage sale ones to see, okay, what should we be picking up? And then we went and picked up a bunch and we realized, oh, that's not a good idea. That's a really bad idea. Maybe we should watch the what sold type videos. So we started watching those. So we've watched a lot of channels, honestly. And now that we're doing YouTube as well, we started YouTube and eBay at the same time. So now that we're kind of more down that path, we really try and support the other creators out there. Not so much the large creators. Like we still watch the big channels and we like the big channels. We really try to search out small channels that are just starting and try and support those because that's who we are. That's where we started. We're still a small channel. We just broke 6,000 subs like a month ago. So
Really?
still
in my mind, you were a
very
lot bigger than that in my head. I don't know why.
Nope. Very small channel. It's very small channel on YouTube. Very small channel even in the reselling niche.
Yeah, I don't. Just to follow up on that, do you think that there's going to be another big channel to come out of the reselling niche, or do you think it's pretty much like capped out?
I think so. I think you're going to see I think you'll have a cycle of big channels pop up in this niche. I do. But I don't think you're going to see a cycle of big channels pop up like what you saw through the COVID years. Like, I think the easy YouTube in this niche is probably done. And I think now you have to be a creator. You have to be different. You have to figure out a different, like, go to garage sales and look for items, or stand in front of the camera and say, this is what I sold this week. I think those channels are kind of done. Not done as in they won't work, but I think the ones that have established in that spot are established. I think the next big channel you're going to see is probably somebody that comes in and just does it different. Does something that's more entertaining and has wider appeal. But I don't think the niche is played out. Not by any means. I just think the old ideas are old ideas. Somebody will come in with a new one.
Yeah, there are a lot, and I mean, we're not saying anything negative against any of those channels, because they all obviously they established.
I will. Who do you want me to slander? I'll say it.
Jack's treasures. No, but what we're saying is that, you know, if a channel comes around, it definitely, you want to look at something different than doing the same thing that other people have already done, because they've already established that audience and they're going to keep that audience. That's just going to be there. You know,
we did find with the YouTube's interesting to me because it works really well for somebody with ADHD, because you don't have to go to work and push the same button every day. You could do different stuff. But that also works against you on YouTube, because if you do different stuff, you tend to alienate an audience, and it's hard to, like, when YouTube says, we're going to give you 3 million views on this, that means you have to do this the rest of your life on YouTube. You can't deviate, or YouTube really tends to punish. But if you watch our channel, you'll notice, like, we really quickly decided we were going to be a what sold type channel. And that's kind of where we stayed in that lane for 4 years. But throughout those 4 years, if you watch our videos, we're always changing something. From the very beginning, we edited differently. We did a split screen and kind of a Graham's cam, Pop's cam, and then both of us, which was different. Nobody else was doing that. I still don't think anybody's doing that.
Right.
And then we went to, just our latest change yesterday. What is today? Wednesday? Today's video. We noticed in our analytics that when it got to the part of our video where we showed what sold, the audience just went away. Like, they're watching us.
Really?
But when it gets to the part of the video where we say, okay, this is what sold this week, it's gone. The audience goes away, and our videos crash at that point. So today's video, we did something different. Instead of doing a section on that, we recorded like little mini skits or funnies or commercial type, like where Teresa would be, holding a big pair of speakers saying, look at these headphones that just sold. And then we'd give the price up. But that's the extent of that clip. And then you didn't see anything else that sold for 4 or 5 more minutes. And then she'd be running across the shop with a box of football cards. Like, it would be something very short and attempting to be funny, but very short, and then gone, so that they didn't have time to be like, okay, I don't want to watch this. And retention has been better, but we're always evolving the channel. That's one of the things I like about it, is you can evolve the channel as long as you do it kind of systematically and slowly. You can't just change the entire format.
Right. Yeah.
It's fascinating how YouTube seems to want to push you towards something. They reward us with views anytime I do anything with storage units. They love it.
Oh yeah, storage units.
I get all the views, but we're not full-time storage unit people. I don't have enough storage unit content to fill the channel. I wish I did. We would probably have
2 channels.
Twice the subscribers.
I do know 2 channels.
I really wish I did.
Straight. They went to storage units. That's all they do is storage units for YouTube now. And they're constantly buying units they don't want, they don't need.
Yep.
Like they have to keep doing the storage units for the channel. Well, that's great YouTube if YouTube is your goal, and I think it is there, so it's a smart move.
Right.
It's really good for YouTube, but it's really bad for your reselling business. It's
bad
not
for
good.
Reselling.
It bogs you down a lot, and it can become overwhelming. I mean, we have filled warehouses at least once or twice completely with storage unit buys, and it can become very well overwhelming if you don't have that means to flip that.
And when you're buying the units for resale and you're trying to process them and do that, trying to stop and take videos of us doing it, it slows you down. And
I think it very quickly. I wouldn't say any of the channels I watch are doing this. I don't know. But for us, if we were going to do storage unit type YouTube to where we were buying a storage unit a week just to make videos from, it would be a very quick path to being disingenuous, because you're telling people we can go buy these storage units and we can make all this profit.
I agree.
And on the back end, you're actually
100%.
full of shit. You're not making all that profit. You're filling buildings. You're filling a dump. You're getting rid of stuff that you normally wouldn't. You don't have time to process and list on eBay. So you're fast tracking it to live selling platforms or marketplace in bulk bundles. That side of your business quickly becomes unprofitable while you preach to people how profitable it is. And for that reason alone, Teresa and I would never do a storage unit YouTube channel. We do storage units once in a while. Yeah. But we would never make that our core content, because in order to do that long term, I think you have to be okay with lying to your audience. And YouTube's not that important to me. I wouldn't lie to an audience.
Right.
Yeah, we have talked before that YouTube is it's definitely something that you can make money at it. But is it worth the time and effort to do that? Tracy and I have not put out a standalone video on YouTube in a month now, or 2 months, where we were doing 3 of them a day.
A week.
A week, I mean.
Other than shorts.
But we just don't have that time to devote to that. And we have now started to do a lot of analytics of looking at where are we making our most money, which is why we have evolved into Tracy doing most of the eBay and me doing most of the whatnot, so that we can keep that flow going of the items through that. Well, let's get on with the segment. That was literally our first question, and that was our icebreaker question. I love it.
I have about 2 more minutes of content on that.
This is our real talk.
We could just keep talking YouTube. I love it.
This is our real talk Q&A, where we ask the tough questions to our guests and hopefully gain some knowledge.
Yep.
And we've probably asked you this before, but in case someone wasn't here for this, how did you get started reselling?
Reselling was our semi-retirement easy button. That's kind of the short answer. We sold a business, a very profitable online business, and got out of that business. And we gave ourselves we bought this acreage, and we bought a large, like 6,000 square foot building on the main street of the town we live in. And then we gave ourselves a 2 years nest egg in the bank to where we didn't have to work from selling that old business. And then in those 2 years, we just said, we've got to start brainstorming and figure out what we want to do next. And what we both wanted to do was kind of not work that hard. We wanted to do something that took relatively low brain power, relatively low to no investment, and just make us enough money to where that nest egg never really runs out. So it's, instead of just living off the nest egg, we also have this other income to where we don't have to touch the nest egg. And within a year, we weren't drawing money from that nest egg anymore. We kind of decided to go with YouTube reselling. It took us about 60 days or so to kind of get our feet wet and figure it out. And within the first 6 months, we were profitable, and we were making enough of a living to where we weren't actually drawing money from the bank anymore. we were putting money in the bank. And within a year, we were making our full-time salaries for both of us. So we didn't have to change anything. So that's kind of where we've been ever since, is we make our living off of reselling. We have other things we do, but we make our full salaries off of living. And that includes house payment, car payments, health insurance that we pay privately, groceries, like all the bills, everything is done from reselling, and everything else we do is just kind of whatever we want. If we want to start a new business in painting road cones tomorrow, we have the freedom to do that. We do whatever we want.
Right. It's funny because a lot of people do that. They go, and my family was the one that was the funny one. They were like, why? Because I quit teaching. And they're like, you're going to quit teaching and do what? And I said, well, I'm going to sell on eBay. I have Tracy and I have been doing that for a while. And they says, there's no way that could be profitable. And I said, well, yeah, it's very, very profitable. And they says, well, you're just going to go and do this easy work. And I said, yeah, easy work. No. See, reselling is not easy. And that's one of the, I think the biggest mistakes I think that a lot of people make is that they get into this thinking, oh, this is going to be easy, because they watch those videos that we were just talking about earlier, where they see this sold, this sold, this sold, this sold, buy this when you're going to the thing.
Yeah, those are the highlights.
Yeah, those are the highlights. Yep. Right, exactly. And also what a lot of people don't know is if you have an eBay store and you have 100 items in your store and you sell 100 items in that store, you have nothing more to sell. You have to keep replenishing all of those items in that store. So the best thing to do is have items in that store that are going to draw people in there that, yeah, they're definitely going to want to buy that, but hopefully they see this over here. They see that over there. They see that over there.
Yeah.
And
I want to clarify. I don't want to contradict you here. Contradict. That's a big word.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I do it. I do it all the time.
A little bit. Reselling. I say reselling is easy. Reselling is the easiest thing business-wise we've probably ever done. That does not mean I'm saying reselling is not hard work. Right. Reselling is a ton of work, but in terms of start a business, run a business, make a living, reselling really is kind of it's the floor. It really is the easiest
for anyone.
Yeah. Anybody. Yeah. Yes. It really is. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a certain knowledge base built up. You'll build one up, but you don't have to start with one. Like, you could really just wake up someday and say, I want to take this light remote that's on my desk and see if I can sell it and make $20. You're going to find out pretty quick you can. It is a very approachable, easy thing to do.
And I agree with you. And I guess the way that I said that was kind of wrong. But it's a lot of people, when they look at it and they don't realize that. For me, I look at it this way. I work because I want to work. I was a teacher, okay, and I was a damn good teacher. I know that your daughter became a teacher very recently, as a matter of fact, and I know that becoming a teacher is, you don't get in it for the money. You don't get in it because you get summers off, even though everybody's like, oh yeah, you do. No, you don't. Okay, you get in it because it's a calling. It's something that you love to do. But very quickly, it became a full-time job where I was like, God, this sucks. I hate doing this because I got to do what other people are telling me to do and all this other kind of stuff. With reselling, it's easier because you work as hard as you want to work. You do as much as you want to work, and you can make as much as you want to make, depending on how much effort you want to put into that. And that's one of the things that I love about reselling, is that if Tracy and I wanted to go to Omaha, Nebraska for a meetup, for instance, all we got to do is just say, okay, well, we're going to put in an extra 2 hours of work, putting stuff up on more stuff up on eBay or whatever it may be, to pay for it. So
it truly is it's an effort-based paycheck, and you don't get that in any job. You put in 1 million resumes and work 1 million jobs, you'd be very hard pressed to find one that's an effort-based paycheck, where the harder you work, the more you get paid. Just doesn't work that way in the real world. When you're doing this, or any other business for that matter that you're running yourself, it really becomes kind of an effort-based paycheck. If I need an extra $1,000 this month because the water heater went out, I can put in a little more effort, and all of a sudden that money's there. Like, you could scale this up and down and side to side all day long. I want to take a week off and just kind of be easy with it and not work that hard. As long as you're okay with the pay being a little less, you're free to do that. I mean, it really is directly linked how hard you work to what you get paid. Once you know what to buy and what not to buy, and you get through the growing pains of that starting, and that starting season is very short. Like the learning curve is almost flat. But once you're over that, it really is just it's a straight line effect. I work hard, I get paid more.
Exactly. I like that. Well, today's episode, we're actually going to, which I never even introduced what our topic was going to be.
You didn't.
I'm slacking. What can I say? Well, I've only been doing this for a full year. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention that. This is our 1-year anniversary show. Okay. And that's why we had Cory on as a guest. He was our very first guest that we had. It wasn't on our very first episode, because our very first episode, nobody agreed to come on. And I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get Cory to come on. And finally,
you just had to ask.
He was like, "What's your channel again? What? How much do I get paid for that?" No,
who's this?
But yeah, I did want to say that. We are going to talk about marketing and online marketing of branding, because that is something right now I think that a lot of people need to start learning about, because those can explode your businesses, and those can definitely help your businesses to grow, or your brand to grow. Because that was one of the things that we said, is that we had been reselling for so long. Oh my gosh. How many years now for you? 35 years?
Almost 30.
50?
Almost 30.
And for me, it's coming up on 20 years, but we never marketed our brand. So all we were doing was just hovering at the line, and that was it. And then we started doing our branding last year. And so that's why we got this one. So before we talk about that, Cory, how important is online marketing for a reseller in both static listings and or if you do live listings, which I know you don't do a lot of live listings?
It depends on who you ask. I find it funny that you say you've been in it a long time and you never really tried to build your brand, because if you go back in the Grams and Pops vintage video library back to the first year, we came from an online business where marketing was all we did. Like we sold online, but our job was marketing, because we didn't have eBay. Yeah. We were selling on our own platform. And so that's what we did for a living, was market. And then we came into eBay and we were like, well, why is nobody trying to build a brand? Why does nobody try to get your customers to stop saying, I bought this on eBay, and start saying, I bought this from Brian and Tracy? Why is nobody doing that? And we got poo-pooed for days. Like, people hated hearing us say that. We got so much crap from everybody about saying that. And now it's kind of coming around where people are like, why aren't we branding? Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I have been looking forward to this episode for a while, because I take something from almost every episode that we do and try to incorporate it or learn from it and do something with it. And eBay is one thing where Cory and I have talked about this, that and he just said that when people buy something, they say, yeah, I got this on eBay.
I hate that. That's like my least favorite.
I got this from Grams and Pops, or I got this from Jack's Treasures, or I got this from, whatever it may be. And that's actually where you're getting that stuff from. They're just providing us the platform.
Yeah, I got this on eBay. Different on that is like a curse word in this house. I hate that saying.
Yeah,
like I really do, because, and just to be clear, this episode could be 6 episodes, because this is a huge topic. So we'll have to kind of pick a few paths and chase them down. But the I bought this on eBay. You share eBay with 1 million other sellers, and 900,000 of them are shitty sellers. So when somebody says I bought this on eBay, when somebody says I bought this on eBay, they're relating.
You really are trying to get me like kicked off of this platform, aren't you?
Gonna get you canceled. So you share a reputation with those 1 million other sellers, including the 900,000 bad ones. And I'm not saying like that's not a real statistic. I'm making an example, but you do share that good relationship and bad relationship with all those other sellers. So if you're not pulling yourself out of that pool and saying, no, you didn't get this from eBay, you got this from Cory and Tracy at Grams and Pops, or you got it from Brian and Tracy at Jack's Treasures. If you're not even attempting to pull yourself away from that, then you're just saying, I'm okay with being lumped in with all the bad sellers as well as the good ones. And I think that's a very defeatist thing to do. As if you are serious about this and you want to make it a full-time income, I think that's a very foolish stance to take. I think you have to try to differentiate yourself, even if it's just putting a sticker in the package when you ship it saying, hey, this didn't come from eBay, it came from me. And here's where you could see my other things. And maybe a card that has a QR code on it, or a little story about you that you sign. Anything is better than nothing.
I agree with that. Do you think it's important in live selling also?
I do. I think it's more important in live selling. Honestly, I think it's doubly important in live selling, because then if they come to eBay and they find my remote on eBay, they don't know who I am. And if I don't make the attempt to tell them who I am, they just think they bought it from eBay and it's no big deal. On live selling, most people that live sell, a good chunk of them have their face on camera, and they're buying from you. So now when they have a bad experience, they hate you personally.
Right.
That's different.
And with live selling, some people are coming for the show. They're coming to interact with the live seller, and just buying something just happens organically. They like the item. So I think building that brand is much more important for that.
What was it? One of our guests was on that said that you are not only just selling that item, but you also are selling yourself, or
100%
your brand at that
especially
time.
Like I said, I think live selling is even more important. Like I really do, because then you're putting, like if I give somebody a bad experience selling that remote on eBay, they're about an 80% chance they're going to be like, I hate eBay. They're not going to be like, I hate Grams and Pops. But if you do it on Whatnot with your face on the camera, they're going to be like, I'm never buying from this person again. I don't like this person. It's a personal brand that you really have to protect even harder, and work even harder to make sure that your brand is, yes, we bring cool things and sell them, but also when bad stuff happens, don't even sweat it. We got you. Like that has to be your brand on there.
Yeah, you have to have that great customer service and everything. But I think for us, and especially for like what we're going to be talking about today, it's that marketing of that brand. One of the things that we get to do, and I know this with eBay. With eBay, you can look at your analytics and they can tell you how many people were clicking onto your items, and then you can look at your solds. I can look at my shows and I can say, wow, we had 152 people coming to that shows, but I had a max room of 29. How am I not keeping those people into that room? Why are they clicking and then clicking and going? That what do they call that? Hit and run, that they're not seeing that. And I think that's part of that marketing part that it's harder to do live, and it's easier to do live at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Well, it is. I think part, and I'm not really familiar with the live selling because we've done very little of it. So if I say something out of hand, you might have to call me out on it and just tell me I'm wrong. But on the live selling, if you set the expectations going in, if you're marketing pre-show or whatever on your brand to get people to come to your show and they're leaving right away, that tells me, if that's happening in mass at a large percentage, that tells me your messaging was wrong in the sense that you didn't set their expectations correctly, because they were like, oh, I'm excited, I'm going to go hit this show. And they hit it and they were like, this isn't what I thought, I'm out. So it's an expectation thing that you might not have set correctly ahead of time. And but it's in terms of the actual live show, if you get somebody in and you get somebody watching, I guarantee you I'll have an easier time selling my little light remote to somebody if I can talk to that person than if I just put it on a static web page and say, this is cool, you should buy it. Like you have an advantage eBay sellers don't have. Most eBay sellers don't have. But that's, so in one aspect, you're right. It's harder, but it's also easier. You have some huge advantages that we don't have.
Yeah. I imagine that a lot of shows are the same. I don't know for sure, but I do keep analytic records of our shows, of how many people come in and how many people we max out at, and our new buyers and our buyers and all of those things.
It's cool that you have those
want,
analytics.
Yeah, it really, really is. And I've never really looked at them before until I started to think about, why are we not getting these people to stay in the show? And it was funny because I just got a message today, as a matter of fact, from, Ben, Rocky Top Picker.
Yeah.
Ben has started to sell on Whatnot, and he's doing die-cast cars. And he, at first, his name was Ben, Rocky Top Picker 83, I think.
73,
73, 83, something like that. But he changed it to Rocky Top Pickers Diecast. And he sent me a message today, and the message was, I'm thinking about starting a second channel on Whatnot to sell clothing, because he doesn't know if he wants to co-mix the items together. And it got me to be thinking about us, because ours is Jack's Treasures. Jack's Treasures does not tell you anything about what we sell.
Mm-hmm.
It just says, this is Jack's Treasures, where everything sellers sell units, because we don't really have a niche as like for the diecast cars. So I had to give him my input on that. And my input was, it's very niche is what you've created with your one brand. And you're going to have people that have that expectation of coming in looking for die-cast cars because it's in the title.
You don't want to be selling them a t-shirt.
Same with comic books. Exactly. I've noticed that I cannot sell comic books for the life of me on Whatnot. It doesn't matter how good of the comic book that I have up there, no matter how good the deal is, no matter how many it is, nobody's coming to that show.
It's not your
audience.
Because
people are lasered in on that. I want to see from, Big Treasures comics, or Grams and Pops comics, or Jack's Treasures comics. They want to see that as opposed to the other one. And
you're not
wrong.
You're not wrong in that at all. That's 100% dead on, and it works. It's not just in live selling; it's on eBay too. We have Grams and Pops Vintage, our main eBay store. That's kind of our everything store. Whatever we buy, we could sell in that store. We also have 3 other eBay stores that are very niche down to sell one specific niche. Those stores, in terms of maybe not total dollar amount because they're smaller stores, but in terms of sell-through rate and return customers and customer interaction and everything about those stores are easier to run. Marketing for those stores 1,000 times easier. Customer expectations, getting customers to come and come back and know that they bought from us and not eBay, not a problem. Like, everything about that niche store is easier. So yeah, if I was Rocky Top, I might even shorten it more. It'd be like Rocky Top Hot Wheels or Rocky Top Diecast. Short and sweet, so they know exactly what you're selling. Jack's Treasures is a perfect example for an everything store like Grams and Pops, if you're in the garage sale niche or the estate sale type thing. But if you wanted to sell comics, if you wanted to, like your cookbooks you talked about, Cooking with Jack and Tracy, something like niche it down, just one account. That's all you do is cookbooks and stuff, or at least kitchen related things. You'd have a much easier time. You're right, and it works both ways on YouTube and eBay and live selling, all the way across.
Yeah,
I have a lot of ideas. Pondering making a second eBay account for a niche, but
I love it.
I don't know.
I love it.
It seems like a lot of work. So
It's really not. It lets us do some cool things that nobody else is doing right now. Here's a fun thing.
Right.
For one of my stores, I'm actually driving a significant part of our sales and traffic from YouTube. And it's not viewers of mine on Grams and Pops. It's a YouTube channel nobody knows about. And it's just about that niche's products. And every video relates to a product on eBay.
That's funny, because that's actually one of the directions I was thinking about going when I was we'll talk about it after the recording.
Really?
That's what I mean. In each store, you could do.
Yeah.
And here's another fun fact: I don't make any of the videos. That channel started 90 days ago, not quite 90 days ago, and there's 360 videos on that channel, and I haven't created a single video. AI creates all my videos.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. I got a question on AI too.
We gotta
I
keep
can
going.
tell
This
you,
is gonna go on all day.
I have definitely come over to the dark side. I do a lot of stuff with AI now.
You could do the same thing for Whatnot. Just fun fact. You do the same thing for your Whatnot show.
I've made a couple of AI videos for our Whatnot shows before.
She has. I will say though, wasn't it at one time very passe if you had 2 different or even multiple accounts on eBay? Because they would figure, oh, well, you're just doing that in case you get suspended from one, or if you get suspended from one.
I think if you were trying to hide it or do anything,
we had to look up the eBay policy on this. If you're a corporation or an LLC or something like that, if you're registered as a business, you're allowed to have a eBay account. They don't want you to have a bunch of different ones under that one business. But if you're just registered as a person, you're allowed to have 2 eBay accounts per bank account. So if you do 2 eBay accounts under one bank account and you want a third, you have to open up a new bank account. So you can have 2 eBay accounts per bank account. And I think 4 might be a limit they have. I don't remember for sure, but that's where we stopped, was 4 eBay accounts. But as an individual, they don't have an issue with you having multiple accounts. It's just when you get into the business world where you're saying, this is Echo Technologies eBay account, Echo Technologies, what LLC or whatever, can't have multiple eBay accounts.
Right.
I got you.
Or at least you have to structure it differently.
You hitting the thing. Cory's thinking we're having an earthquake here in Georgia.
What does good online marketing actually mean in 2026?
It's a good question. Dang, you put me on the spot here. I think
I almost emailed you these questions earlier, by the way. I literally almost did last night. I
like this better because it makes me think off the cuff. Honestly, I think you have to reverse that question to get there.
I think Santa's the one that got the questions early, isn't he?
Yes.
I think you have to reverse that question to answer that question. And that is, what do you want out of the marketing? Are you marketing because somebody said you should be marketing and it's a good idea? Or do you have a specific goal in mind for that marketing? Like, this marketing needs to bring me X amount of new sales, or this marketing needs to grow our channel by X amount of people coming into our Whatnot show next week. I think good marketing in 2026 is knowing why you're marketing. What are you trying to get out of it?
Right.
Because that changes what you do. I mean, I could rent a billboard for Grams and Pop's Vintage YouTube channel. It would be a retarded idea, but I could.
Believe me, I've thought of it. And I've talked to Tracy about it. Not only that, I also found out those fucking things, those things are expensive.
I gotta bleep y'all both now.
They are expensive.
They are stupid expensive. I sit there and I look at them and I'm like, I'm driving through Dallas, Georgia, this little town. There's a freaking big ass billboard about a company that's in North Tennessee. I'm like, well, hell, they either have stupid money or they need a tax write-off. Because there's no way they're making money off this billboard.
And that's where it comes down to knowing what you're trying to market, knowing what you're trying to get out of it. Now, I could buy a billboard for our escape room and axe throwing business that's local, 12 miles down the road. That would be a good investment. But I would know that I'm catching people coming out of the big town back to their home, or vice versa. And now they have an idea of what they could do on a Saturday night. It's a different goal entirely, and a different thing we're trying to, it's a different conversion we're trying to create. So knowing what you're trying to get out of the marketing depends. I think that's the answer. I think good marketing is just knowing what you're trying to get out of it, because that's where it starts. I think you have to know that before you even think of the word marketing. Like, it doesn't make sense if you don't know what you want out of it.
Right. That I'm telling you, this is this is probably going to be, we're going to have Cory on again. There's absolutely zero doubt.
If he's willing.
If I don't drive him away.
It might be easier if you just call me. Nobody's going to watch this.
I don't know.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah. Andy will be watching. I know that. Andy will be watching. Oh, and Cory and Teresa will watch. So there we go.
We'll be watching.
All right. This is a question now that is definitely a reflection of the day, but is email marketing still worth building in this age of social media?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, okay. It is. Yes, it is. And eBay. Sorry, I could talk, I swear. Email marketing.
Yeah.
Email marketing is something everybody who's selling on eBay should be doing. Is email marketing. You send out a packet.
Send out those little like email things.
We do it. If you go to the Grams and Pops Vintage website, gramsandpopsvintage.com, when you're going to leave, you get a little pop-up.
There'll be links down below too.
You'll get a little pop-up asking you for your email address, and we'll keep you informed on anything going on at the Grams and Pop shop. Every time we have something new, when we were selling, I don't have any sitting here, our box resizers, like our box stretchers and our UPS roller, like thermal label rollers, and our Promo Nomo, that's where it goes to. We send that email out, and I think we have a couple thousand emails. That's the one thing I always hated about Amazon, and that's one of our first friction points when it came to eBay, and Whatnot would be the same thing for us. We came from owning our platform, like we owned it. It was our platform, and we built it from scratch. And then we started playing in this sandbox where the platform is where you sold your stuff, but you didn't own it. And what that means is you don't have customers. You think you do. You don't have customers. eBay does. If you don't have a phone number and an email address and an address where you can get a hold of that customer and contact them to make a future sale if you have a similar item, it's not your customer, it's theirs. So we had to figure out a way, how do we take our customers and make them out like eBay's customers and make them our customers? And how do we get people from YouTube to where we can contact them again and they're not just YouTube's customers? Like, so email lists are still very valid. And we make probably, if I had to be conservative, I'd say probably $3,000 to $4,000 a year just by sending an email. So yeah, they're important.
Wow.
I like it.
What's the role of AI in online marketing today?
I had Tracy ask this question because I could not stomach it.
Keep it short. Keep it short.
You're killing me.
Yeah.
I think the better question, the easier one to answer is, what is AI's role not in online marketing today? I think it plays a role in every piece of it now, from graphic design to marketing messaging to audience targeting. Like, I think it plays a role in every part of it, including the initial question, which is, what do I want out of my marketing? Like, I really do. If you're not taking the idea you have, and this doesn't just apply to marketing, it applies to every part of your business. If you have an idea, or say you write a little blurb you want to paste on Facebook to get people back to your Whatnot show, if you're not taking that little blurb that you wrote out and putting it in AI and say, how can I polish this and make it to where people click this more often, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's a free upgrade. Like, you have the idea, you know what you want, give it to AI and say, how can I make this better? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever seen there was a commercial a long time ago. What was it, a commercial? I don't remember, but basically they said, this guy's an idea guy, and this guy over here just makes the idea shittier. Like, he has an idea, and then they pass it to this department, and they make it shittier. AI is the opposite of that. You be the idea guy and let AI make it better, and it works in every aspect of everything in your business nowadays. So it's a shorter answer to say, what are you not using AI for? AI doesn't pack for me yet, but when Tesla releases their robot, it will. Like, I will be in line waiting for one. I will train it to do our pick and pack.
Okay, this is the guy right here who will not go through a self-service checkout at Walmart or any of those types of things. Yeah, there we go.
AI is supposed to make my life easier, not Walmart's.
Right. Yeah, I got you. It's funny because AI does help me with the questions that we come up with on this show. And people know that. And when I do the show description notes on usually Saturday night, because that's when we pre-record and then I launch it on Sundays at noon. I use AI and say, okay, AI, take all of this stuff that I have on my notes, give me a description from that. And then from that, I have to say, okay, shorten it up a little bit like that, because I can't use 5 million characters in a description. And then I have to tell, okay, now make it a clickbait title. And I literally say that, make it a clickbait title. And it gives me, 10 clickbait titles. Yeah. And it really has made life a lot easier. Now I will say
ours got a little bit more focused and better when we started actually giving it the transcript. Yeah. So when we record our video, we upload it to YouTube as unlisted as soon as we're done recording and editing. Right. We upload it and leave it as unlisted. And it takes 15, 20 minutes and it'll pop out a transcript when you go to the description of the video. And I just copy and paste that transcript back to GPT and say, I need a killer clickbait title. Give me like 10 examples of the ones you think are best. And we pick a title and then we say, okay, you've got the transcript. Write me an SEO optimized description that'll get this video found. Make sure you include YouTube tags and hashtags. And if you give it that transcript, it has a very intimate knowledge of that video, and it comes up with things you wouldn't have thought of. Like it picks things out of the video I've never thought to put in there.
Okay, did you understand that?
I did, because I use it to help me come up with titles for my shorts, but I usually just describe the video to it instead of transcript.
It's so much better if you let it have the transcript. Yeah,
absolutely. I like that. One of my biggest complaints about AI and marketing is I go through Whatnot and I see the thumbnails, and everybody's thumbnails looks almost the same. And I work so hard using AI. I mean, I'm not a graphic designer, but I try to use AI in ways to make my thumbnails look different than everybody's, but still AI generated. And I guess that's my biggest frustration, is the samey of
what are you using
a lot of AI generated content.
What kind of AI are you using? Are you using like GPT or?
I'm using a combination of GPT and Photo Room, and I usually will feed it through both of them to come up with my final.
The one thing that I will say with her is she said that that it's AI created. It's not AI created. She's creating it. AI's polishing it and making it. But you are actually the one that's created it. We literally, and I don't know if you've seen this, that we do a monthly graphic t-shirt battle every single month, right? Well, last year we started doing that in January of last year. And in December, at the end of December, we did one battle, and she did a thumbnail that not only had our character on there, but it had all 12 of the other characters of who we battled and throughout the entire year. And it was really tough for her to do that, but she was able to do that. So AI does a lot of that, but you got to give yourself some credit because you actually create it and stuff.
Well, I work it through the systems. Yeah. I can't stand when I see so many thumbnails that are just alike. It just
I know what it is that makes you feel that way when you see these thumbnails, because I feel the same way. There's something about knowing that it's an AI thumbnail that immediately makes you not like it, because it's AI and somebody didn't put the effort into it. And it does take effort, but there's something about seeing, and I think what it is as soon as it's not your face, as soon as it's a simulation of your face that's like cartoonized, immediately I'm out. Like, I hate that thumbnail. I don't like it. So I've been using, what we do is we take 4 or 5 screenshots from our video. We just do a screen capture of our video playing where we're both in it. And we pull those out and we feed those into Gemini, Nano Banana. And we tell it, use the people in this photo. Don't change it. It's us. Use the people. But here's what the video is about. Make me a thumbnail, but don't put any words on it. Just make me a good thumbnail using these people. And it'll usually do a really good job of adding interest or contrast, or maybe throwing a few things in the background and moving the two characters around a little bit. I download that thumbnail and bring it back over and throw it in Canva. And then I go back to my Chat GPT that I was using to get my title and description, because it has all that. And I ask it, if I want people to click just based on the thumbnail, curiosity, whatever the case may be, I need this to be kind of clickbaity. What words should I put on the thumbnail? And it'll give me 3-4 words just to drop on the thumbnail in Canva. And that's my thumbnail process. But it's still mostly being done right in ChatGPT. I'm just using
Do
Gemini,
I look like a deer in the headlights or what? Right? I mean, I'm literally the deer right now going,
well,
wham!
It's funny, especially with you mentioning that about the cartoonization.
That's what gets me.
If I get cartoonization, it will turn me into a flat out Disney character, and he still looks realistic. And I have not figured out why it does that, but I have to, if we want to be cartoonized, I have to do them separately and then put them together. Because if it cartoons us together, it makes me 5 times more cartoony than him every single time.
I keep a folder.
She's trying to say I'm more of a cartoon than you are.
No, I am. It's
folder
weird.
on my
I'll show you
desktop
sometime.
with like screenshots of our videos with Teresa and I both in them.
Right.
I keep a folder of those screenshots on my desktop that I can reuse whenever I want. And there's a couple hundred photos in there at this point, but they're all like different expressions. Like maybe Teresa's laughing or looking at me like she wants to kill me, or but they're different expressions.
I get those a lot.
I could just grab that thumbnail and drop it into Gemini. Yeah, I do get those a lot, Brian.
I get them a tremendous amount. I obviously now you guys can see why I wanted Cory to talk about this, because his background with the technical parts of the marketing part are the ones that are, when I say they're over my head, it's like a jet just flew over us, and me
and Tracy just need to chat.
Everything that those two were just talking about, I would just sitting there going like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, believe me. All right. What do you think is the biggest mistake that businesses are making with social media? In regards to social media, what is the biggest mistake that businesses are making?
I don't know if I can speak for all businesses. I can speak for mine.
What the hell are you like laughing at?
I'm just thinking about mistakes I see.
I can speak for mine.
Oh,
and I think one of the biggest mistakes we made with our social media is, it probably goes back to, this is going to feel really repetitive, but doing social media so that you can do social media. Like, you should be on Facebook, you should be on Instagram, you got to get on TikTok, you got to be on Snap shit, whatever it is. I don't know. Like, you got to be everywhere, but nobody is telling you why. Like, why do you got to be there? What's your goal with being on Facebook? Why are you there? Are you trying to monetize Facebook? Because that's the new big phrase or craze. Like, we're trying to monetize our Facebook right now. And
so
we resisted it for a long time. And the only reason we're doing it is because it's 100% automated. I never have to touch anything. It's just doing it. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, I don't care. But our Instagram, we have a purpose for. And we're using it for that purpose. So I think the biggest mistake for us is just getting on every platform because that's what everybody says, you should be everywhere. And that's not always a good thing. I think every platform is good at different things. And I think you have to know what you're trying to get out of the platform, or it's just a mess that never really works. So I think that's our biggest mistake.
I got a question on this, and I hope it doesn't come out wrong. But for your business, when you're looking at your business and you're saying things like, well, what do you want out of marketing, or what do you want out of these particular social media things? Is there any way to be specific with those in a generalized term, if that makes any sense at all?
I could be very specific about it. I have 2 e-commerce companies outside of reselling that have nothing to do with reselling at all. They're just separate e-commerce. I don't do them on eBay. They have their own websites. They do their own thing. They both have a Facebook page. Neither of those Facebook pages do anything except for one very specific task. They tell a story about the product I sell over and over and over from different perspectives. That's all they do. They get people interested. They're not made to sell the product. I'm not driving them to that e-commerce site to go buy my product. They're specifically to create awareness and interest in that niche. So they tell stories about that product. That's all they do. Now, long-term, Tracy and I have talked about it a little bit. We should have, for Grams and Pops Vintage, we should have a separate Facebook page other than one we have now that is just meant to market for us buying side, not selling side, not YouTube side. It's not trying to grow our personal brand. It should be strictly for buying side. We're buyers. That's that's like one half of our business is we are buyers. So we should have a Facebook page that is concentrated on attracting sellers, not buyers to buy our shit. We are buyers. So technically, if we were doing this right, we should have gone into it, made a Facebook page for Grams and Pops Vintage. Hey, we buy X, we buy Y. And that whole page should be focused on finding sellers looking to liquidate, have an estate sale, get out of their mom's house, do house cleanouts. Like there should be a Facebook page for Grams and Pops Vintage that promotes that. Just that. And then it would be way more effective than saying, hey, I sell on eBay and I'm a YouTuber and come watch me dance like a monkey. Like that serves no part of our business. So those would be the specifics. Like, why do I want Facebook? Because Facebook hits local better than any other platform. And I buy local. So let's do a Facebook page for the buy side of our business and get that ramped up and attract sellers, not buyers. Then if I want to attract buyers, I could do that too. But I think it comes down to that works better for the niche stores. We have our ephemera store. If I'm doing videos or stories or connections where I can say, hey, this postcard's from 1910 and it was addressed to Bertha Baumeier in Wessington Springs, South Dakota, talking about the birth of her child. And her child later on became the governor of South Dakota in 1950 something. Like telling a story about the ephemera and attracting the collectors and buyers, that's a different. And you could do that on a wider thing than just Facebook, because while Facebook is local, like those kind of stories might resonate really well nationally on Instagram or even on YouTube. So it's again, how you build it and what you post there would largely depend on what goal you're trying to accomplish. But if you were to say, well, I want to do both, that you're going to muddy the waters. Nobody can see what you want. I think you almost have to build two pages in that instance. I don't think you can attract buyers and sellers with the same messaging. It's a completely different message.
All right, I got that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's really, really good. We're gonna have to probably cut half of these questions out because we literally have like
just cut half my answers out. Right
now. I don't edit. I'm way too exactly. This is exactly what I wanted.
Here, we could do some marketing.
The episode.
I'm on a Shasta cream soda kick lately.
Oh wow! Okay.
I turned 50 this year, so we're getting into the mild sodas.
You turned 50?
I turned 50 this year.
When is your birthday? Has it gone past already?
October.
Oh, so in October you turned 50.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're still a young man.
I'm gonna get a bag of butterscotch to carry around in my pocket like an old man. I'm gonna do the whole thing.
He keeps saying all of this stuff. I am literally 61.
You're a really old man.
Oh, I know. Well, I should be like carrying.
Well, where's your butterscotch,
me,
Pops?
Well, right now it's been replaced with cough drops, which I have a whole handful of them right over here.
He does bring me a Dum Dum lollipop from the post office every day. So
yeah, they have a little bucket of Dum Dums, and I always grab two of those.
His old man habit there is grabbing candy out of the candy bucket at the post office.
You got to embrace it. You can't fight it.
Oh, that's the biggest thing right there is I have definitely done that. I have embraced the fact that when I turned 60, it was like the most exciting time for me. It was just an amazing thing. And yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, we got to get going here. All right.
How important is personal branding compared to business branding?
Wow, you guys came up with some good questions. This answer is gonna get really old by the end. It depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. For us, for Grams and Pops, the personal branding is huge for the YouTube side. It is not huge for the reselling side or our e-commerce stores. It is more important to do the commercial branding than the personal branding. It really depends on what you're selling and what you're trying to do, because the personal branding for our YouTube channel, like, people want to know and trust you. They don't care what the brand is. We could change our channel's name tomorrow to Cory and Teresa battle it out. And like, nobody cares that if they are watching the drivel we're putting out, they're watching it because we're on it. So they don't, it's our personal
triples
brand.
our views, or 10 times our views at least, and stuff. Oh yeah, nobody watches ours. So we get like 5.
Not lately. It's been a rough go of YouTube lately. It's tough out there. But no, it is.
Yeah,
that's more of a personal. I don't think it's which one's more important. I think they're two different things. I think they're like Whatnot. I do think that's kind of a personal brand. Do you guys agree with that?
Right.
It's not so much
I
think if
definitely
you came on there,
do.
I think if you went on there and you said we're selling for Walmart, it's going to be a lot less effective than, hey, we're Jack and we're Brian and Tracy. Like, I think live selling is very much a personal.
It's funny what you just said. What you just said. How many people called me Jack?
Right.
Because they thought that being Jack's Treasures, they thought that I was Jack, and so that became our brand. And I literally embraced that. And I said, well, my name's Brian, but you can call me Jack. I have absolutely no problem being called Jack.
That's still a very personal brand.
There's a girl that calls him Not Jack. That's what she will come into our room and say, hey, Not Jack.
Yeah, she say not Jack. And I'm like, oh my God.
I would still say that's a very personal brand. That's not like a corporate brand type of thing. That's a very personal brand. I think where that corporate brand really serves you is a completely different type of business. Like Whatnot, I think the personal brand is the Whatnot. Like, that is what makes Whatnot work, is because people are attached to those personalities. People do source on Whatnot and they show up.
We got a video clip.
Buy things.
Cory saying Whatnot works.
I've never said Whatnot doesn't work. I just said it's a bad idea.
I love that one. All right.
Where are we here?
We are.
You were right
here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and skip that one right there. What do you think about that one?
I like it.
You like this one here?
Yes.
You like that one?
Yes.
All right.
We got all day. Don't worry about time. You can make this 2 episodes if you have to.
No problem. This is a question that we started to ask all of our sellers that are mainly Whatnot sellers that are online, but I wanted to ask you this anyway, because I think that human nature would lead to people to say yes. Do you compare yourself to other sellers?
Yes and no. Yes and no. And if you tell me everybody says yes, I'm almost always going to say no. I'm very contrary, Brian. But I would say other yes people.
Everybody said no so far,
except for Shane. Shane said yes.
Shane said yes, but everybody else said no.
I think if you are trying to make this, if you want this to be fulfilling, you don't want it to be soul crushing, you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. That's a slippery slope, and it just hurts your feelings. Right. But if you're trying to do this as a business and make money on it and grow and scale things, if you don't compare yourself to other people, that's called ignoring data. And Grams and Pops don't ignore data. We look at the data and find out what we can learn from it. And it's less about the comparison than it is, what is a comparison, is what is he doing right that I'm doing wrong? Why is he successful and I'm not? And we're selling the same damn comics. Like, how can he sell them and I can't? Well, it's because he's 48 and he's dressed like a 12-year-old in a Hawaiian t-shirt and he's dancing around in shorts and flip-flops. He's connecting with the audience, and you're a grumpy old man who's just saying, it looks like Superman. I don't know. Well, you want this? Like, You have to analyze that. You do have to compare it.
Right.
So I think yes and no. Yes, for the business side, no, just to compare, like, I want to be as big as this guy. That's just heartbreaking. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think a lot of people actually do that. I know that I am very, very guilty of doing that, especially on Whatnot, when I'll go into somebody's room and I'm like, gosh, they got 120 people in this room and they're not even selling anything. They're literally just talking. I can be in there selling gold bars and get 25 people in the room. And I'm like, I don't get it. So, but
make sure you tag Teresa when we're selling gold bars.
Oh God. Yeah.
She wants to be there for that one.
Now, Brian, I will say a skill that most people are really bad at, that I've had to practice over the years, and I'm better at it now, but I used to be really bad at it. When I see somebody doing super good at something I'm trying to do and I suck at it, reach out to those people. If you reach out, send an email, hit them on social media, send them a postcard in the mail if you have to. Reach out to 20, 30, 40 people that are doing 10 times better than you are and say, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm trying to do this thing that you're doing. I'm in love with this thing that I'm doing, but I'm not very good at it. Could you give me one piece of advice to help me? Here's a link. Come watch my show if you want.
Yeah.
If you want to get to where they're at, you can't always just do it by observing from the outside, because you don't see the important stuff from outside looking in. Sometimes you have to ask them, what are you doing that I'm not? Like, I don't know. Would you be willing to give me advice? If you could get even one out of every 20 of those people to give you a piece of advice, you're going to grow more from that contact than you will from doing it yourself for 2 or 3 years. Like, talk to people who are where you want to be
too.
Yeah. Well, now you just hit the secret of the reason why we're doing this channel.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, why did I have Jeremy from Green 13 on this channel? I wanted
that was
to
a
learn,
great episode, by the way.
I want to learn from
I
him.
watched that episode twice.
Thank you.
He's a special guy.
He really is a very, very smart individual. He definitely wants to help people. He's got a great head on his shoulders. And I think everything that he says is not emotion.
I was just going to say that.
With the data.
It's funny you say that, because he has a trait that I wish I had, which is why I think I like the episode so much. You can actually see it in his face when you ask him a question. He thinks about what he's going to say before he says it. He's really articulate, but you could see him process what he wants to say before he says it.
Yeah.
My ADHD ass can't do that. I just say the things and then I'm like, did I say it right? So I think that's why I really like that episode, because you could actually see him processing and thinking, like putting some thought into what he wanted to say. And he's a smart guy. It was a good episode.
He is on YouTube now on Sunday nights at 6:30. He's
Reseller
Roundup. They're doing a weekly show.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
I'll try and catch that.
I try to get in there when I can, but
yeah, he really is good. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why. And don't forget, Cory, I told you one time, I said, man, especially when we were in Omaha, I said, I'm almost about to drive up to your house because I want to see how you do this stuff. I want to see all of these things because I'm a visual person. I need to see it. I mean, you guys can tell me it and I can process it, but I'm going to see it my way, which is definitely wrong. And because Tracy will correct me and bless her heart, she will literally say to me, like she did it today. She goes, you realize you have this show, which was a cookbook show scheduled for Saturday. Historically, that is not our best day for us to have a very, very good show. And you're taking a very good show that we have and putting it in a spot where we don't historically do well, as opposed to flipping it with a show that is just a marginal show that's going to do no good no matter where it goes on a day that we would do great with cookbooks. So I ended up having to flip them back and forth.
Well, how long? Let me ask you, how long has it been since Tracy punched a time clock for somebody else?
Me?
She's never done it.
Well, I worked at Starbucks in 2004.
Yeah.
So that's the last time you punched a time clock for somebody?
Mm-hmm.
So Brian, you might not give yourself credit for it, but you have somebody with a very sound business mind sitting next to you.
Oh God, no, I give her all the credit in the world.
Like that's impressive. That's hard to do. And people don't give themselves enough credit. If you can make a living for yourself for a decade plus a couple of years without punching a time clock for somebody else, you're doing something right.
Yeah. She's a blessing for me. I tell her all of the time I wouldn't be where I am.
So listen to her when she says, "Flip that show, Brian."
Oh, I do. But
he did.
I did.
And he didn't even argue.
No. I just sat there and I listened to her and stuff like that. Okay.
When do you think a business should invest in paid ads?
It depends on the business. If you're in e-commerce, I think you have to do the paid ads from day one. That's something. But this could go down a lot of paths. There's paid ads.
How about we narrow it down to an eBay seller?
An eBay seller for paid ads, day one.
Yeah.
Day one, but the type of ad matters. They're not really ads. It's promoted listings where you pay if it sells. Day one, you should be, no, I take that back. Okay. We found the best strategy to be, for us, we turned on our promoted to where they were eligible for promoted right away, but where they actually start making the best net profit for us is if we let the item sell itself for the first 30 to 60 days. And then after that, we give it a little bit of promoted listing, like 2 to 3%. And then once it ages out to like 120 days or whatever, and it hasn't sold yet, we bump that up to where it's at our max, whatever we want that to be, 6, 8, 10%, whatever we want that to be. And that's why we have the software PromoNomo, is to do that.
Go ahead and explain the software of PromoNomo, which will be linked down below also, guys.
If you sell on eBay and you have a fairly decently sized store, if you have 500 products, you could do this by hand. Don't invest in the software. The software is cheap. It's like $14 a month, but you don't need it with 500 products. If you have 500 products, just go in and manage them each month so you can move your items into the right promotions. But once we were up at like 4,000 or 5,000 products, it's not manageable by hand anymore. And eBay doesn't make it possible to promote your items based on age, which to us, from the day we started doing eBay, we were like, what is this? Like, why would they not have this in here? Every retail in the world knows that retail items, what you do for them in terms of promotions and sales and liquidations, that's all age-based. It's all age-based. You see what items you can move as quick as you can move them. And as they age out, you get better deals until you got to get rid of them and then you liquidate. So the fact that they didn't have that drove us nuts. So we wrote our own software to do it. And then the more we talked about it with people and how it worked, the more people were interested in having the software too. So we did release it as PromoNomo. And what it does is that it lets you do exactly that on eBay. You could set up a promotion schedule to where, like ours for Grams and Pops, we set up 0 to 60 days we don't promote. And about 40% of our items sell in that 0 to 60-day period if we're doing our jobs well and we're picking well. Right. About 40%, maybe a little higher than that, sell in that period where we don't pay any promoted fees. And we used to just turn on promotion for the whole store, and because it was too many items to manage. So everything's at 6%. Now that first 30 to 60 days, we don't promote anything. Our second tier in that schedule is from 61 days to 120 days, I think. We promote it 2-3%. And then past the 120 days on, we promote at 6% or 7%, whatever our cap is. And doing that, even with the new attribution change, where now they attribute your sale, if anyone ever clicks on your promoted listing, even if it's not the person that bought it, you have to pay the promotion fee. Even with that coming into place, we're actually 0.3% less in promoted fees on our store than we were before they changed the attribution. Everybody else I've talked to have tripled or like doubled or tripled their promotion fees. And I know people are thinking, well, I'm not paying $14 a month. That's too much. Promoted fees aren't that much. on our store, just the Grams and Pop store, $6,000 to $7,000 a year in just promoted fees is what we were paying. It's a lot. It adds up really quick. So now we're paying less than that, but they're attributing pretty much everything that you promote, and we're still paying less than we were before the attribution change. We did add in 2 other things into Promo Nomo recently because customers asking for them. One is the best offer. So they wanted the ability to just list an item, no promotion, no best offers on nothing, just list the item. And they want best offers to turn on after 60 days because they don't want to even entertain an offer till after that
feature. I didn't realize y'all had that. That's awesome.
So we included that. And then we have a lot of users that came over that are also using Nifty. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's like
vaguely. I've been looking at it. Yeah.
Yep. It's for cross listing and stuff, but they also have a feature that says auto delist and relist every however long, every 30, 60 days to get that new promotion or that new item bump.
Right.
And sell similar or delist and relist is something that Teresa and I have always been adamantly against because we come from a retail background. The item age is insanely important in a retail business. And by doing that, you lose the item age. So we've never done that. We try never to do that. But so many people are doing that. And I understand why. But so many people are doing it. They're like, well, we can't use Promo Nomo because our item age is always 30 days or less.
Right.
So we built into Promo Nomo that now when you connect your store, it looks at all your items, sees how old they are right now today. And then if you in and sell similar, it remembers how old your item was originally. So you never lose your item age anymore. So it retains your item age in our system, even though eBay isn't. So now, even if you in and sell similar, it knows that item is 6 months old, but you've ended and sold similar 8 times. But it knows how old the item is, so it could still promote it at the correct rate. So that's what Promo Nomo does, and it's been a game changer for us.
Okay. It's awesome right there. And guys, there'll be links down below to that also because these are all things that are definitely going to help with that marketing. Yeah, believe me, I'm used to it. If somebody had zero money to spend, where should they start with online marketing?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't in terms of paid marketing. Trying to squeeze something out in an emergency or out of desperation is never a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend you go to McDonald's and put in an application and work with the goal that my first 3 paychecks are going to get me enough money to do this XYZ thing. Like that's always the answer. Never do anything from a position of desperation. But if you have no money and you're going into something and you want to do marketing, social media, free marketing, don't pay for it. Like get in there and do the free marketing. And there's a lot of it you can do from the buying side all the way through the selling side. There's a lot you can do for free.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you. I'm now agreeing.
What metrics actually matter and which ones are just vanity numbers?
Oh, you're going to skip that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
In what aspect, like on eBay or on whatnot or YouTube? It would depend because they're all different metrics.
Let's go ahead and go with the metrics of on eBay.
I think the metrics that matter on eBay are, I mean, really, it's your weekly payout. That would be above everything else, your weekly payout, because all the BS is gone from it. All the nuance is gone from it. That's the money coming back to your bank. That's the most important.
Okay.
I would say probably right up there with that one, probably in the same tier, would be your bank account number saying how much you spent that month to get that payout. If you pay attention to those two and don't even look at another metric, you can already run this business. It's that simple. Did I spend more than I got? And the rest is more advanced, I guess, if you want to dig in. But if you get rid of those two numbers and just say that's common sense, I really think your item age is the next most important metric, and it's the one everybody's so willing to delete. It drives me batshit crazy. It really is the most important one. We've really buckled down to where, unless it's a multi-quantity listing where that item age doesn't tell the whole story, like we have our football cards. We've been selling the same boxes out of the same cases of football cards for 3 years. That listing is 1,200 days old, but we've sold probably a little over $40,000 worth of those boxes now. So that listing age doesn't tell you that much. But for all the one-off items, if you get 365 days on a one-off item that's just a general type of item, that's telling you a story, and it's a really scary story. Like, you have to get very proactive about figuring out why. If you have items stretching out and lasting a year, 1, why? 2, what can I do about it? And 3, how do I prevent, like, what system can I put in place to combat this? So we've, in our store, we do a few things. We let our items go through promo nomo, which is progressively promoting more aggressively throughout the year. And then once we hit that 1 year mark, we go on liquidation hiatus, like not hiatus, that's taking a break. We go on a liquidation blitz on those items. When they hit 365 days, they go into our 50% off sales. And then they have about 30 days from that point on to sell at 50% off, or they're going to find themselves very quickly in a dumpster or a donation bin. They're not staying. And people are like, well, that's wasted money. Like, they'll sell eventually. That's fine. But every 2 foot by 2 foot square shelf space in my shop should be turning over $30 a month. So while that sits there for a year, it's costing me $30 a month. How many months before you're upside down on that product in shelf space? How many items could you have sold out of that same 2 foot by 2 foot square that you let the Mario Kart scoreboard take up that's never going to freaking sell? Like, so we got very aggressive. I would say item age would be the next most important one.
That has definitely become something I'm thinking a lot about when I'm building up my eBay now. It's like I'm looking at an item and it's like, well, that item does do okay on eBay, but it would also sell on Whatnot, and it'll fly out of here. Let's just go ahead and put that on Whatnot, and let's save eBay for that item that isn't going to fly on Whatnot. And
you guys
literally
have a power
pulled something
team
out of Whatnot. She pulled something out of Whatnot today and said, I just noticed this, and I looked it up real fast, and it's $75.
It was a Japanese exclusive plush.
Right. And
threw that on eBay.
There's no way I'm going to get that on Whatnot. The max I might get on Whatnot is maybe $10. So it was one of those things where we look at items that way and we say, okay, where would that sell either the fastest, or is that something that I'm willing to sit on? I
pulled some Uggs brand blankets that, they were $40 on eBay, but I've had them up a month. They haven't sold. I'm like, sell those on Whatnot. They're too big. They're taking up space.
They'll sell on Whatnot.
That's what I mean. You guys have a power team there with the Whatnot eBay combo, to where you have a liquidation side built in that most people don't have. And that's an amazing combination, because you could do things that Teresa and I can't, in terms of liquidation wise, that you're already set up for, that are built in for you. That's amazing. But I do think the item age, I mean, if you don't want to say, well, I can't be here for a year for every item across the board. That doesn't make sense for every item, but for 99% of the items for us, that's what does make sense. But there are certain items, if it's a really expensive something, like we sold a brand new in the box vintage, like, lawnmower engine that was still brand new in the box, in the cardboard.
Okay.
It was expensive. It was like $700 motor, and it was a vintage collectible motor. That isn't going to sell fast. It's going to take the right buyer. We're probably not going to liquidate that at a year, but it ended up selling in like 7 months, so we didn't have to. But something like that, we would make the call on and say, okay, maybe we won't get that aggressive on this one, because we understand it is more long tail. But that item age, I can't stress that enough. When I see people inning and selling similar and they don't have anything keeping track of their item age, I get that you're getting that temporary bump by inning and selling similar, and you get that new item bump on eBay. I get that. and that's appealing to a lot of people. And yes, it will make a few sales. But you also have to ask yourself, why didn't it sell in the first 90 days? It was a crap item then, it's a crap item now. Like, maybe the answer isn't more people seeing it. Maybe the answer is the listing's bad. Maybe you're overpriced. Like, I think item age tells you more about your eBay store or about your items than almost anything else.
I like that's probably one of the biggest things that people can take away from the episode is using your marketing, but look at the data and what is the data telling you about those particular items. This will be our last question on it right here. And this is a new question that we have started asking a lot of sellers on that. And that is, have you ever thought about quitting reselling, and what made you keep going?
Every day.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't think about quitting reselling. I think more about how can I stop doing certain parts of reselling. I don't think I've ever had the thought where I want to quit reselling. I think even if one of my other business ventures takes off and we become millionaires somehow, I don't think that I would stop reselling. I think if I found something valuable that was underpriced, I would still be very tempted to say, hey, let's throw that on eBay. Like, it's just it's too easy. I think I said the same words to Kevin the other day in Tuesday's reseller therapy show. eBay and reselling has kind of become our piggy bank, to where if we want to do something crazy, like start a new business or try out a new thing, we can just go find a bunch of crap to sell. And it's like a little piggy bank for us. And it pays all of our bills and it's our income, but it's also scalable. If I need $5,000, I know the steps to take to get $5,000, and I can get it very quickly. So it isn't anything I think I would ever quit doing. I think I'll do this till the day I can't. I can't imagine not being able to. We would just do it at different scales. I think we said before we started recording, I don't enjoy the sourcing as much as I used to. Like, I don't want to go to garage sales. I don't want to go out and meet people and have those fun interactions at garage sales. Like, the sourcing part of it has worn off on me, and that was always the magical part, right? And it's kind of worn off on me.
Most people.
I'm more interested in finding that cool lot of old stuff online that somebody's put up there on a 7-day auction, and I can see that jewel in the rough, and ordering that online and having the mailman bring it and put it on my porch. That's exciting for me. Going to somebody's garage and digging through their shit to find that same thing, not so much. I don't enjoy that much, because it's fun, but it's also a lot of work. Sourcing's hard. Finding stuff is easy. Doing the act of sourcing is a lot of work.
It is, and it is even for us, and we're in a more southern area where the season's about to start kicking back up again, and it's still even tough then, because what you see on videos, by the way, I will let you know, those are highlights. Those are people that they're showing you not even 1% of the yard sales that they go to, where they don't get anything, or they make a bad deal, or whatever it may be. You're seeing the highlights of whatever those people do.
Yeah.
We really do appreciate that.
If you ever want to see the truth of that, strap on a GoPro and go to garage sales once, and then try and make footage out of it. You'll see, you'll go to 15 garage sales before you find one garage sale with cool stuff at it that you're going to buy and put on the video. And you don't see the other 14 sales, and you don't see sale number 6 where you tripped on the end of the driveway and spilled your slushy and had to apologize. And you don't see all that crap. You just see
the lady that yells at you and tells you not put the camera away. I don't want to be on film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who are you, the CIA? No, I'm just a dude.
Yeah. Or the one that called the other one a nitwit. That was still my favorite one, going to a yard sale in Tennessee, and this nice old lady calling her friend. Was her friend or her sister or something?
I think it was her sister.
I think it was her sister, and literally called her a nitwit and told her she was going to hit her with her car. So,
nice.
Well, that was our question and answer section, and definitely was going up there with one of the long ones, but you know what? Hey, I knew it was going to end up happening, and hopefully you got some great information on that. Our What's Up segment for this week is very simple, guys. This month is Planes to Profit Meetup in Omaha, Nebraska. Planes to Profit 2026 is a 2-day in-person meetup designed for online sellers, thrift sellers, and marketplace entrepreneurs from across the Midwest and beyond. It is hosted at the DoubleTree in Hilton in downtown Omaha, which is an amazing venue. This event brings together sellers of all experience levels for networking, learning, and hands-on growth opportunities. Attendees can expect networking. Heck yeah, you knew some heck of a lot of networking on this one. Educational sessions, okay, those were always a lot of fun, and some awesome discussions. Especially, I will give you guys a hint if you all go to breakfast early and just stay there late. Okay,
yes,
that's some of the best right there. Okay. There also is going to be thrift store tours. Those were a lot of fun. Community building and relationship building opportunities. My question for you, Cory, being one of the co-hosts for this amazing event, is what is something else that attendees should really, really expect?
I think if you go to this event, I think it's similar across all events, but especially at this one, we keep it small. We don't sell 200 tickets. It's 40 people, 50 people tops. I think if you go to these type of events, and you are almost certainly going to leave with somebody's contact information that you keep in contact with long term after the event. Like bar none, every event I've been to, but this one in specific seems to amplify that, where you're going to meet someone and you're going to form a relationship that will turn into more than that after the fact. We've picked up business relationships. We've picked up sourcing opportunities. We've picked up people that we have their phone numbers, and if we have troubles or we have questions or we just want to vent about reselling in general, we can literally just hit speed dial and call the person. Like, that's really what these events are about. And this event, we put a lot of effort into amplifying that portion of the meetups. Or when you leave, you will have somebody you can call. And I know for a lot of people that come to these, they're not YouTubers, but they would love to call that YouTuber. You find out very quick coming into an event like this, those YouTubers put their pants on the same way. They're just people. They have phone numbers. They'll contact you. You contact them. There's people that I can call now that I never would have thought would talk to me because they were just too big. They're not. They're just people. They're just people like you and me. And when you meet them in person and you build that relationship, it's amazing the contacts you come away with.
Definitely agree with that. I know that you still have just a few tickets left.
Yep, there's tickets left yet. We cap it, like I said, I think we're capping it either at 40 or 50 this year. It's the max capacity for the thrift bus. We rent a party bus and we go thrifting around Omaha for one afternoon. So whatever that max capacity of the bus we get that year, that's where we stop the tickets, because we want everybody that wants to show up to have a seat on the bus.
Okay, I will let you know, Tracy and I went there last year, and we're not going to be able to make it this year because of some goals that Tracy and I have set for ourselves. But next year we will definitely
make it back next year.
Yeah, we will make sure that we have that one on our agenda. And I highly, highly recommend going to that one because it is very small, and it's a lot easier to get around, to meet people, to talk to people. You will be able to do that. It is highly recommended. I will give one bit of advice. Omaha seems to be a very windy ass city. So keep your hands on your hat, because mine blew off and almost went 5 miles before I got it.
It was a very walkable city, though. We walked around.
That was one of the things I remember. I watched you on Mike Metco's channel, Mike Metco's Meetups, and I remember the mattress factory where we went to go eat dinner. And he was talking about the shuttle bus and stuff. And I remember that Tracy and I walked from the mattress factory back to the hotel, and we got back to the hotel before the shuttle bus.
And
we don't walk fast at all. guys. But it is a very welcoming. It's a very safe city. It seems like, especially where
the area
we were was definitely that way. And I think we walked around a lot.
We did.
Of the just that general little area right inside around the
it's right down by the
hotel,
old town.
But
it's a pretty nice area down there.
The link's down there below. I enjoyed it.
This is our Shine the Light segment where we shine the light on 3 sellers on Whatnot at 3 different levels. We're going to start with our up-and-coming seller this week. Her name is actually also Tracy.
Yep.
Her username on Whatnot is Bookish Love. She's a seller on Whatnot with 227 sales and 506 followers. She sells books and book-related items. She came to our attention when she actually raided into one of our book shows. And she even purchased some items from us.
Yeah, and she stayed for a while.
Yeah.
And see, that to me was one of the things that I really like. And it's one of the parts of Whatnot that I think is amazing, is that ability to raid into
and
other
to make
shows
those connections
and to
like
make
that.
Connections like that, because we had no idea who she was. She had no idea who we were.
This is why I can't talk to you, Brian. This is why we have to moderate these and only do them once a year. It's because of stuff like this. Now, I like books, and if I sold books on Whatnot, my first thought isn't go out and find a bunch of books. It's, that's awesome. I'm going to sell books. I have 3D printers behind me. I'm going to print out bookmarks with my name on them and my QR code to my shows, and I'm going to brand it that way. And the bookmarks and the 3D print stuff that I sell is probably going to outsell my books by the time it's all done with. But you got me on this marketing kick now. You can't be saying stuff like new niches. You're going to have me doing a new business before we end.
Well, see, that was actually one of the things that you just gave me the idea of doing that with our cookbooks, because we got a whole bunch of cookbooks in a estate sale, or not an estate sale, a buyout that we did on Facebook Marketplace. And we have turned that into one of our more profitable shows that we have, because they're so easy to get. For somebody
who
white
label a product for you, I can not white label. I can wholesale a product for you for that. We started a niche eBay store for cookbooks at one point. We've converted it since, but we did start a niche store for old community cookbooks. One of the 3D products that we sold on that store was cookbook stands, 3D printed cookbook stands, just to put the cookbook on to keep it open in the kitchen.
Right.
So that's cool. You got to be able to do that. But here's my question for you on this one. What marketing advice would you give to a newer seller on how to grow on Whatnot?
Shit, I don't know. I never grew on Whatnot. I think we just gave some good advice for a new seller.
You did. You kind of beat him to the punch.
You kind of beat me to that one, and then I tried to stop him too, but it was like, no, I don't want to.
But that's in anything you're doing. If you're niche down, that's what I mean about niching down. It's such a cheat code that once you do that, if you know what you sell is books, then what's the next problem? That if I buy a book from you, what problem did you create for me? I bought a book. I need a bookmark. That's the most obvious thing, that you created a new problem for me. I'm reading the book. I need a bookmark. Or I bought a cookbook. I need a way to keep it open on my counter where I can read it. Like, by selling any product in the world, you create the next problem for that customer. How can you solve the next problem? If you sell me a toilet, now I need toilet paper. It applies to every niche.
Right.
If you're niche down, you can do that, and every product creates the next problem.
Love it. I love it. All right. Oh, our next level seller is Elisa of Elise Randoms. She's a seller on Whatnot with 6.5 thousand sales and 12.3 followers. She sells mostly in women's clothing categories, but she does have other types of shows that she does a lot of. She has many shows that are fun, and she has super, super good deals. She maxed out her shipping on all of her shows at $8. So you can go in any one of her shows and the max out shipping that you're going to do. Now, my question for you on this one, and Tracy and I have actually flirted with this idea on ourselves. We have flirted with doing some free shipping shows ourselves. Okay. Do you think that free shipping is something that can be marketed on Whatnot? I know you can. It's easy to market that on eBay because of the comparison when people are looking at items. What do you think about it on Whatnot?
Yeah, you could definitely market that on Whatnot. I mean, if that's your, I do free shipping on two of our stores. We do free shipping because we know that everything we sell fits in the same size box. It's all the same type of item. We know what shipping is. We build it in. We're fine with it. The one thing I would warn with, if you wanted to promote your free shipping, I guess to answer your question, you could have a Wile E. Coyote sign behind you that says free shipping. It could be as simple as that, so the people watching you immediately know everything ships free. Just a sign behind you, anything. But the one thing I would warn with free shipping is that it falls into what I see a lot of Whatnot fall into, unfortunately, and that is the race to the bottom, being the discount guy, being the guy where you can get it the cheapest. Like, that's a race I never want to win. That there's you had a guest on here not too long ago who sold like baked goods and stuff. What was her name? She lives by you guys, right?
Kato Marie.
Yeah.
When she's selling that stuff, she's kind of selling it at a premium. Like, I was surprised. Like, she's getting good. She's selling it at a premium. Nobody's going in there saying, I want the cheapest bread. They're buying like gourmet, like home cooked stuff. Like, that's a much better race to be in than who can sell the cheapest Wonder Bread and get it out with free shipping. So I would, that's my concern with free shipping. But free shipping can be a huge seller. But if you combine it with the premium price, as far as like you're going to get the best stuff, or best deal doesn't mean cheapest. It means you provide the most value. It doesn't have to be I provide the cheapest. But I see a lot of Whatnot kind of tumble into, we're to $1 starts, we're to sell it cheaper. $1 starts is a huge draw too. I get that, but I don't ever want to win I'm the cheapest race. That in terms of a just business and marketing in general, I don't ever want to be the Walmart of Whatnot. Like, that's some real bottom of the barrel scraping stuff. So figure out a way to add value without being the cheapest, and then combine free shipping with the premium product. Like, that would be kind of if you have the premium product and you're selling something for more, like you've added value in some other way, maybe the value is I got to buy from Tracy and Brian. Like, you guys as the entertainment add some value. If that's the value, that gives you enough money to afford free shipping without having to inflate your prices, because you're adding value in different ways. So that would be my only stipulation with free shipping. Is a lot of people think of it wrong. They think of it as, let's get it cheaper. Let's get everything cheaper. Let's get to the bottom. And that's a horrible race to win.
I agree with you. And one of the things that we have done, and we've done it on Whatnot, is we use the dollar starts now as an event, and our shows are no longer dollar starts. We only have one or two shows that everything starts off at $1, and I make it an event because I know that those items are going to go higher than $1.
And dollar starts work. I mean, dollar starts do work. I believe your one guest talked about them a little bit. Dollar starts absolutely work, but they don't work for the guy that's trying to be the cheapest, because what happens is, like, if I come in and say, I'm going to sell these cheaper than anybody else, dollar starts, they're all selling at $1. But you guys, if you add value just by building your brand and adding the value, or even say, hey, if you buy these every remote we sell goes out with a holder that mounts to your wall. You've added some kind of value that didn't cost you a lot to add to it. Then you could start them at $1 all day long. They're never going to sell at $1. For me, they're selling at $1 every day.
Right.
That's where the differentiator is. You don't want to be the guy selling them at $1, but being the guy that can start them at $1 and sell them for 20, that guy you want to be.
Yeah. And that's why we've done that. Because we're
listen to me give Whatnot advice, and I'm like the worst Whatnot.
We're always constantly looking at ours, and I have to thank he is not, but literally it's one of those things that I have to give you credit, because you and some other sellers, Jeremy in particular, have got me looking at every single thing that we do and saying, is this benefiting us this way, Is this hurting us this way? What's hurting us? What's helping us? What's helping us to grow? All right, next seller.
Our established seller this week is Blackbird Collectibles. They're sellers on Whatnot with 23.8 thousand sales and 52,000 followers. They buy storage units and sell items with low starts and maxed out shipping.
Yeah.
Where is Cory's happy place, and what do you do for relaxation?
I'm in my happy place right now. Honestly, you could ask Tracy. This is the honest to God truth. Talking about businesses. I don't like if somebody's looking in from the outside and they see all the businesses I've started throughout the years, they're like, God, he just loves starting businesses. I hate starting businesses. I love growing businesses, and I love talking about growing businesses and brainstorming ideas, because no matter who you talk to about the topics, you almost always hear them say something that makes you think differently about something. You're like, wait, I didn't think about that. What if I did that, but I combined it with this? Like, talking and growing businesses and talking about growing businesses, that is my happy place. Like, I at one time used to do business consulting for e-commerce, in specific. And I think it applies across the board. I could go into a bakery and do the same thing. Show me your numbers. Let me see how your business works. And I could tell you where you're not doing great, where you could be doing better at a level that would be helpful and worth some value. Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert in every niche, but that is really my happy space. It's something I used to do. If I could do like I don't like traveling, so I don't like the consulting part of it. But if I could do something where I just talked about business every day with other people who are in business, who could challenge my ideas and I could challenge theirs, that's my happy place. It really is when somebody says something that is contrary to something I think, and I have to step back and think, shit, they're right. Like that, I love that. I absolutely love that.
I can see that. Like you don't know how many times I have toyed with the idea of having you and Jeremy on as guests.
Oh my gosh!
Just letting you guys. I wouldn't even say nothing. I'd be out there just going live selling. Go. And that would be because it would be.
I've got to be stoned for that one. I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm afraid I would Tracy, be very outclassed
sharing that part of our lives with you. Have definitely changed this podcast. I just want everybody to know at the beginning of this podcast, not this particular one, but when we started doing all of these podcasts, I wasn't allowed to say, like, even infer anybody's name. Tracy just straight out now is saying it and stuff, which is actually amazing. All right, now is our really want to know section. This is where we have the random wheel, where we have some really wild questions on there that our guest, Cory, gets to choose how many spins of the wheel that he would like. He gets between 1 and 5 spins on this. The only thing that we ask is that he has to answer them honestly. So Cory, listen, the people really want to know, how many questions would you like to answer?
Well, I'm a risk taker, but I also like to see Brian work. So 5. Let's do 5.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
We got 5. All right, guys, here we go. Let's bring up the wheel to the stage. There it is right there. And hopefully the damn thing works this time and it doesn't ask the same question about 15 million times. All right, first question. Here we go. We're going to spin the wheel. And it's spinning now, and when it stops, it's actually going to play the music now. That's nice.
I
sounds like a quarter falling.
Have you ever tripped or fallen in front of a?
That's that one.
Have you ever tripped or fallen in front of a crowd? What happened?
Yeah, I guess you could count it as a fall rather than a trip. I think I was about 16, and I got my first motorcycle. And when we came into our driveway, it was a gravel driveway. We had a whole bunch of company over, and I was, I rode the motorcycle for probably about 2 miles total at that point. So obviously I was an expert, and I went to kind of skid into the driveway, and I laid the bike down and tumbled 3-4 times, and everybody was doing one of these things. So I learned humility early on. Yeah, in my teen years, I was humbled pretty quickly.
Yeah, that would definitely do that. I think mine happened in Ohio.
Yes.
Mine happened in Ohio when we were visiting Ken. I didn't realize that there was that they have a lip in front of all of the doors because I guess they get so much snow, and we obviously don't, so it's basically flat. And boy, my toe hit that lip, and I went completely down, face down in front of everybody in a hotel room, and I knew nobody.
Like a hotel lobby. And
hotel lobby.
Everybody just stared.
Yep. Not one person called 911. Thank you.
Nobody's helping the old guy out.
Nope.
No, I just laid on the ground and started laughing. Tracy was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm still alive." But that was painful too. All right. Spin number 2. Spin number 2. I like that. That was a good question. I like that one. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever posted online?
Oh, wow.
Probably this episode.
Well, technically, you didn't post this one. I'll be posting this one.
No, honestly, I think probably the most embarrassing thing I ever posted online was our first Grams and Pops YouTube video. Just starting and having the stones to say I'm a creator and put out your first video and just put it up there and let people see it. Like that was, I don't know so much. Like now it's embarrassing because of how horrible the video was, but at the time it was just nerve-wracking. Like it was scary to do.
Right.
Now it's embarrassing because it's a horrible video.
I'm probably not. I seriously
it's
doubt
probably
that.
better than any average video we put out.
Yes.
I don't think they were bad.
I don't know. It can't be any worse than me trying to open up a safe. And it taken me 20 minutes to open up a safe. And I will say, I would give that safe company my business all day long. Some of those safes that have like all of the bells and whistles and everything like that, 10 seconds, I open them up. This other one, gallantly, I say, oh yeah, and I get this thing open up in 10 seconds. 20 seconds later,
20
minutes later, I got into this thing and I beat the hell out of that safe too. And there was nothing.
I would have lasted about
which is
5 minutes and then found a can of Tannerite. We'd have got in
it. Yeah. All right, here we go. Question number 3. This is our more fun section of our episode. I gotta spin this wheel up.
Have you ever waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you?
God, yes. Yes, that's embarrassing. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm very guilty of that one.
That's horrible.
How did you play it off? I'm curious how you played it off.
Oh, I don't play it off. When I embarrass myself, I lean in. I lean in hard. I'll wave with both hands.
I love
both hands. I like it.
All right, take that one out. Question number 4. I hate this wheel. I'm going to see if I can find another wheel.
You really do need to find a different wheel. This wheel is terrible.
I know. Yeah. Have you ever faked being sick to get out of something, and what was it?
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has played hooky from school, right? So from early on. But when I was working for someone else, I mean, I think that's how you tell you really hate your job. If you're making up excuses to not go. And if you play hooky from your real job a lot, you're probably on your path to entrepreneurship. See you on eBay someday.
You were hooky a lot from your teaching job the last year or 2 in there.
Oh God, yeah. The last
it's a big
I'll
red
let
flag.
you know, teachers get a certain amount of days.
Yep.
Yeah. Teachers get a certain amount of days off every year, tied into our schedule. So we're supposed to, let's say, work 195 days out of a school year, and you get 10 days that you can take. I took probably 30 my last year, and I was like, I need to get the hell out of this profession. I hate it.
Yeah, I think the more I hated my job, the less I faked sick. I would just call in and say I don't want to come. But definitely have been there, yes.
I can definitely hear him saying that too. I'm just not coming in. Are you sick? No, I just don't want to fucking be there.
Just want to go golfing or something.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the language now, Brian.
I know. I get it a lot.
Have you ever let a phone call ring just so you wouldn't have to talk?
I've not. This is one of my fatal flaws. I can't. Like if my phone, I get crap about it, but I don't put my phone on silent or vibrate like all these millennial kids. I don't know where that came from. It's a phone. It's supposed to ring and you're supposed to hear it. So when my phone rings, I think it comes from when your phone rang when it used to hang on the wall and everybody would race to see who it was. I think that's just embedded in old people. If a phone rings, I have to answer it. I can't let it. I don't care if it's a bill collector or a telemarketer. Like, we're having a conversation. You called me. We're talking. So I have to answer.
I need to give him some of the phone calls that I get from people that are trying to scam me out of stuff. You know.
Oh, I'll chat.
This is a new Medicare program. I can't believe it. I've done it a couple of times. All right, that was our we really want to know segment right there. Thank you for playing along with that one, Cory. I definitely appreciate that.
Now it's time to turn the tables. This is where Cory gets to ask us any question he would like. It can be about reselling, it can be about life, it can be about anything he would like to ask about.
Well, I think we're on the marketing side. We'll ask a marketing question. See if I can make it. Let's see, I give you 3 levers for your business, right? You get 3 levers that you could pull for your business to grow your business. One of them is get more customers. One of them is to make more money per customer. And one of them is, let's say one of them is to spend less money per sale. So your expenses go down. So those are your 3 levers.
Okay.
If going into 2026, you had to focus on pulling just one of those levers to grow your business, which lever would you pull to try and focus on, and what would you do on that lever to try and accomplish that? Does that make sense?
Okay. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, well, I would probably go for making more per customer because I feel like I have more ability to control that.
Okay.
Because I could just do better at sourcing.
Mine would definitely be pulling the lever of spending less and making, getting my return on my investments a little bit higher because of the fact that one of our biggest goals for this year is to become debt free. And that's one way that we could definitely do that. Now, obviously, everybody always will tell you, you have to spend money to make money. And that is true because you have to have inventory, and being on Whatnot, you definitely have to have inventory. Otherwise, you're just not going to sell well, or you're just not going to end up very well. But mine would be on that one. And it's basically just focusing more on what I'm looking at and saying, can I make that money? How fast can I flip that? Is it going to flip fast, or is it going to be one of those items that sits and takes up space, and I have to spend that $30 per the square foot to keep it in my spot? So that would be.
I asked that question in that specific way because this is a game that Teresa and I play that she hates. She hates this question. We have 3 levers. They're on my whiteboard back here. And all of those 3 levers, say we picked the lever you picked, you wanted to lower your expenses. The game we play is we pick a lever, so we pick that one, and then we have to brainstorm back and forth with each other and come up with 5 ways that we can accomplish that we can focus on. And then when we have 5 ways, we rank them and we pick the top 1 way that would do the most damage on that lever. And that's what we have to focus on for the next 30 to 60 days. So in your case, you want to lower expenses. You named 1 way, which is great. Now you could go back and forth. You could lower your expenses by ordering bulk supplies for shipping supplies and get them cheaper. You could lower your expenses by, by taking your stuff to the post office instead of paying for them to come deliver it to you. You could lower your expenses by buying better, buying your inventory cheaper. So there's a lot of different ways you can attack each lever. And it's a cool game to play that kind of plays into it's not really marketing, but it's business strategy, that if you write those 3 levers down and then force yourselves to brainstorm on each one of those levers, you could pick the top 1 out of every 5 ideas you come up with in each category. And if you do that once every 3 months or so, there's no way your business cannot grow year over year. You physically can't not grow your business if you do that on each one of the 3 levers. Pick the top 1 way you can do that, and then repeat that process every 90 days. Any business you're in will grow doing that. So Teresa hates it when I make her do that.
Awesome. We can do that. Tracy hates it when I do my bookkeeping and things like that. And I ask her, I said, well, okay, well, how much did we spend on that yard sale? And she goes, I don't know. She goes, I don't want to write down just these numbers. Just give me the roundabout figure. And I'm like, I want the exact number. How much did we spend in taxes on the gasoline we just bought? And she's like, shut the fuck up.
Do you guys write it down for every sale? Do you guys write those numbers down for every sale?
No,
we don't either. We go to the ATM before we go to sales in the morning, and we usually take out $400 out of the ATM. And if we need more, we'll go back. And we just know if it came out of the ATM, it was sourcing. That's just it.
Yeah, we have like a separate. I have a John Wayne tin because I love John Wayne. So I have this John Wayne tin in our room, and any money that I make off of Facebook Marketplace sales, I put it into that. And I said, that's just money that's going back right straight into sourcing. So,
and then we hit the ATM.
Well, a very big, excuse me, a very big thanks to our amazing guest, Cory from Grams and Pops Vintage. He's one half of Grams and Pops Vintage, for joining us. Next week, we're going to be chatting with Joanne Ladybug Luttrell, who's a seller on Whatnot and probably one of the most giving people I have ever experienced in my life. She helps us support Stop Soldier Suicide and other charitable organizations, and she seems to be
always helping out
other sellers on there. So look forward to that one for next week.
One last question for Cory before we let him go. What can viewers expect from Grams and Pops Vintage in the coming months? Any goals or special things coming up?
Very little. I mean, we would like to keep expectations low, but we are always kind of playing with our YouTube channel. Okay. We're always experimenting. We like to try different things on our YouTube channel to keep it interesting for us, because we do enjoy YouTube, but I think you have to be experimenting a little. So every Wednesday, we do a normal YouTube video that's kind of about eBay and reselling and what sold. And then every Saturday, we do a Saturday Shop Talk where we talk about all the questions and comments we got on our videos for the week, whether it be our videos or YouTube page or Facebook or whatever. We address all the questions. So we kind of are back and forth with the audience at that point. So those Wednesdays and Saturdays, that's where we're at.
And you're live on Tuesdays?
I'm live on Tuesdays on Reseller Therapy channel. And Teresa is live on Thursdays on Buck Mountain Barn. And Brian is going to be alive for the next 5 minutes while he tries to cough that out. I feel so bad for you.
I'm done. I made it this far.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of myself.
He did
2 hours.
Good.
I made it 2 hours.
You hit your limit. Yeah. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Help us out with Stop Soldier Suicide and the Naughty Cat Cafe. Links are below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.
Peace out, everybody.